Well, if it isn't one lion. Hello, and welcome to another Daily Code Fun. I am most likely not going to have any viewers today, but that's okay. I have so much going on. Um, I hope you are doing well. We're going to get started right away. I have no idea how long I'm going to be going for, and we're just going to we're gonna do until either I get interrupted or I stop at what is it, 1:45. Hello, prog testing. Yes, I know the crowd hates it. It so sucks having a job. Yep, I'm gonna complain about being employed. No, I'm not. Yeah, so I'll tell you the things that have been going on lately, which is just more of the same. But load. But I want to get the project up. So we've been working on the financial management tracker. Last thing we did was get some tests to work. Started working on some new tests. I actually need to. Hello, Bob Rosso. How are you doing? I actually need to take a look at the history to find out what we did last because it's been since Friday. I have no idea what we did. You doing all right? You've been last few times I've seen you, you've been pretty busy. So I hope it is not the bad kind of busy. And that you're at least able to enjoy a little bit. You've been working on the new website in React and building an API for Amazon FBA so I can create affiliate links. What is Amazon FBA? I'm not familiar with it. But I have Google right in front of me. Fulfillment by Amazon lets you outsource order fulfillment to Amazon. So essentially, you sell something and Amazon packs and ships it. Cool. Hello, Big Amy and Abydus. Welcome in. I hope you're having a great day so far. I'm gonna wait until if there is any, yeah, drop shipping. It sounds like. If there is anyone else that happens to join us. I know I didn't really announce that I was going to be streaming, but I did mention in general chat, in the general channel, sorry, that I plan on streaming today. I have no idea for how long it's going to be. We are in the middle, so we being the team that I'm working with for the client. Again, I work for Sagetti. All of my views and opinions are my own and may not reflect the views and opinions of Sagetti. So the project that I was brought in to do was they wanted to redesign the user interface for this existing desktop application, and that user interface was the new user interface was designed by someone else entirely, and they did an amazing job in my opinion. It looks fantastic. It's awesome. So all that I had to do as my job within 3 months was create a component library that was that user interface. So I finished that job, and now we're working on integrating that interface into the existing application. And so over the past couple of weeks, I've been putting together documentation. I've been putting together work effort. I've been putting together screenshots and bunches and bunches of stuff. I've been having multiple meetings. And during that time, the client, dang it, there's a call. Okay, hold on. Go to this screen. Oh my goodness. So that fills up the rest of my day from now until 3. Yes. Bob Ross's birthday in 4 days. We got to do a thing. And he's turning 16. Oh, man. Oh, man. Do, do, do. Do, do, do. Congratulations on living another year. I hope you're able to celebrate it, though. So that's one thing that I'm okay with on birthdays. Like the entire ritual of birthday, I'm not the biggest fan of, obligating people to buy gifts and stuff. But personally, I'm okay with celebrating and being grateful and all of those good things. Your friend just shaved off his eyebrows. Interesting. I mean, it's a style choice. I won't shame them for doing that. It does seem like your friendship situation has not been hindered by past events. So that's good to hear. Like we said, worst case scenario is you would know. Ah, is that a hair? Okay. I think for my sanity, we're gonna go until 11:30 because I have some stuff to prep for the next meeting. And Andrew, so I need to respond to him real quick. Do 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 do. Right, and my IP address changed about 3 times, so I need to go back into AWS and give myself access. Oh my goodness, there's so much going on, and it's getting difficult to do anything outside of the bare minimum. Like I really shouldn't be streaming right now either. But that's okay. You guys can watch me struggle. I want to do a struggle stream just like live coding. His struggle streams are so much fun though. He was doing a Gary's mod thing and it was really cool. It was really cool watching him work through it. I don't quite know how far he got in it because I had to drop it. I was still lurking on his stream, but I had to leave his stream early. But it looked like he was having fun, and I enjoy watching people have fun. Oops. Well, it's loading pretty fast, so I can't brain access, edit outgoing, inbound. Where am I? Where am I? How do I get to where am I? In copy. pasta slash 32. Copy. Save it. Pasta. Enter. Save it. For default. Awesome. Okay. Can I access this now? That's the wrong one. This one, please. Kind of looks like no. Connect. Yes. App data. Docs. General. MISC. Yep. App data docs general MISC. Okay, all right. So I think that I'm caught up there. Let's look at this. So we have something that we were able to convert from an entity to a view model and a view model to an entity, not using you know, the thing. The thing that I said we weren't going to use. We still might. I mean, it's a small enough application that I don't have to worry about the profiles getting too large, but I'd have to remember the name of the library before I could add it. AutoMapper. Oh my goodness, why was that hard? So we might still end up using AutoMapper instead of using extensions, but I like extensions. I like writing extensions. And they're purpose-built, so it's not like we need a general way to do this yet, but we might in the future. So the other thing that we did was we refactored the database so that the transaction, instead of calling it transaction details, we called it payment details for all of the line items because they only applied to payment types of transactions. And then we also put the values in the deposits and transfers. Hiccup. Oh man. Maybe we can do 12 o'clock. We can go to 12 o'clock. As oh man. Yeah, we can do 12 o'clock. So then the very last thing that we did, what files did this touch? Yeah, this isn't touching any of the test files, but we added some validation messages for deposit. We renamed the, oh yeah, we added async to all of the method names that are async, except for, yeah, and that one is void. We added the server-side services to program.cs for, I'm guessing, Blazor server is what this looks like. Yeah, Blazor server. We added the extension methods. Wait, We added more. For the collection to get turned into the view model. Got it. So we have a way for an individual entity to get turned into a view model and an individual view model to get turned into an entity. And then we have the collection of in both cases. So that's cool. My lips are really chapped. What else do we have? Transaction entry service, where we add, I skipped over the interface. We changed the names. That's all. We just added async onto the method names, which should be the only change here. No logic update. Same. So same. Oh, so same. We did touch the tests. What did we do with the test? We added some asserts for the get transaction, and I think this is where we left off. We were going to check to see if this test worked. Ooh, I kind of remember. Did any of you guys catch Captain Commerce's stream on Monday? I was there-ish. And in main context. Okay, so I think that's where we're at. We are finishing up the test for get all. Cool. So let's go into that. Business logic, deposit, transaction tests. So this thing here, I kind of remember that I also finished typing in some of these details after the stream because I didn't want to check in code that was broken. So I remember adding this. If you're watching this on the YouTubes, then you may see some discrepancy, and that's why. Cool. Or VOD, whatever. So let's just give this thing a shot. See what it does. Run test. It should fail, but it should fail because of a new not implemented exception. Or because of not implemented exception. We'll drill down to it. Survey says the method is not implemented. Cool. So everything is set up correctly so far. You know what? I am going to make this another tab down here. Do I want it there? I think I want it there. This test should still pass. And I'm leaving the component tests that are scaffolded with the new BUnit project there because it's going to remind me that I need to do, or that I still want to do some component tests, but I don't have a big desire. Well, I don't have a big desire to do any of this, but that's okay. But I still want to maybe write a couple. I'm looking at Big Gamey's doggo emote. I love it. Okay, good. So let's continue working through writing some more tests. So what I want to do is, now that we've written the test for get all deposit entries, I want to go and implement get all deposit entries. But that's not how TDD works. Instead, you write all of the tests for the methods, and then you go through and you turn them green. So, yeah. So we know that we have another method that we need to test, which is get deposit by ID. Returns correct deposit. I'm going to do the exact same arrange step. And here I am going to grab the expected view model transactions first view to view model. So I'm turning the very first element of what's going to be in my database into a view model. There is no all. And all of these are going to turn into equals, like a magic. Assert are equal, just equal. Instead of EVM, this is going to be expected view model. And then this is returned view model, which we will fully describe in a second. I have an extra one of these. And then instead of equals equals, because this is an assert, we pass into arguments. And we want expected followed by actual. Great. Not account ID. This would be, we're not going to get the transaction ID back with this query. So we need to compare all of the properties. You're not going to be a list, so I need to fix this real quick to make it not a list. The action is actually get transaction data. And do we have overloads on this, or did we actually call it something different? It's an overload. How's that gonna work? So normally I'm able to rely on the name of the method to be a discriminator for my get all versus get specific. So it's usually something like get transactions and then get transaction. I think I might want to go that route. Get transactions. Because I have in here the ability to pass in a whole bunch of optional parameters starting with int. And so if I pass in just ID, how is it going to know that I want this overload and not one of these? Yeah. Which means that you're going to need to be renamed. And you need to be renamed. And you need to be renamed. Done? Great. So that's going to be easier for me to keep track of and know that when I ask for get transaction singular. It will be expecting this transactions first ID. Great. There is now not empty for you. You do not get to list. Almost there. So you're going to be deposit reason. Oh, oh. Yeah. Okay, that works. Cool. Control KD. We'll go ahead and do a cast like this. That way we know it's not null. Get transaction, all of those. Great. And that should be everything. So what this should mean is when we try this test, it should also fail, but because of not implemented exception, which means it should get past this step here, or these two steps. And survey says get deposit. Yeah, that's what I thought. Dang it. Unable to cast transfer entry view model to deposit entry view model. Why are you giving back a transfer? Let's find out, shall we? Debug. Debugging the tests. So there is a lot of stuff going on that makes me feel like I'm doing a lot of extraneous work at my job. So testing, I know makes sense to do and will save in the future. Like as a solo dev, yeah, it still saves time and effort and all of that stuff. It's a transfer. Deposit is null, transfer is null. Oh. No, that doesn't make sense at all. unless the first record back is a transfer. Hold on. Generate transactions. Wait. That's not true. That's not true. Somebody tell him. I can't tell him enough. Debug. Debug the test. Write the test for the test because the test is broken. My transactions that were generated are deposits. Here's a deposit. Here's a deposit. Here's a deposit. Start from the bottom, it's easier. Deposit, 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 deposit. Cool. So those are all indicating that they are deposits. At what point does that break? Are they still deposits? They are. And are any of them? Yeah. So you can see here, they are all deposits for sure. For sure. Here's my flattened deposits. Oh, why am I doing that? Not exactly sure why I was doing that. No clue. No clue whatsoever. Control RT. What? What are you doing? F10, F10. Okay, so back to my story. So with my current job, it feels like I'm being asked to do a lot of things that take away from getting the work done and do not contribute to maintaining or having a team be able to work together to get the work done. Cool. And that should be a not implemented exception. Perfect. So it's really weird for me to kind of keep going along because in the end, I have a job and I'm going to do it to the best of my ability. And my project manager is the one that is dictating the work to be done. I am giving my feedback of here are my concerns about doing this, but I will complete the task if he pushes. But I do voice that it feels like we are not, or that we're spending time on something that feels like counter work. I don't know what the word is. And I'm going to talk with him about that later today. So for example, the integration step is taking the UI that I put together, putting it into the existing project, and pointing the existing project to the new UI. So there's a Blazor WebView component, and I'm just pointing it to the main.razor for my UI. The thing that is happening is in my UI design, in my UI implementation, I have a lot of mockups. So there's data, like let's say I had a card, and in that card I display specific information that should be retrieved from a backend service. On the card itself, I have variables that are placeholders that are mocked values for that card, thinking that we were going to use the existing objects that are used in the existing Razor class library. So I didn't create interfaces. I just had placeholder variables. And now it's like, well, I need to create interfaces for getting all of the data and models for all of the UI elements that are going to be displayed. And it's like, we already have those, don't we? In the existing app. I'm not exactly sure why we need to redesign them, but we do. So I wrote those down as work items, put down their level of effort for doing that. And the next thing was, now we need to identify all of the items that I wrote down as work items to determine which of those items are the ones that will make the new UI provide the same functionality that the existing UI provides. So running tests and stuff like that. And so I identified all of those rows. And then I gave the caveat that if the only thing that we're doing is implementing the stuff that will provide the same functionality as the original app, we will be not implementing the new items, which will take away their UI components, which means that there would need to be adjusting for how the UI looks with those missing components. And he's like, okay, so that shouldn't take too much work. Do that. And I'm like, but that just means that we're going to be implementing all of these switches that say, turn this thing off, style it this way. And that's just going to use up a lot of time that we could be spending creating the interfaces and the new functionality at the same time because we have existing. So whatever. Anyway, I'm just really confused at the work process. But then again, I don't have a lot of experience working in a team. So it's highly possible. It's very, very possible that this is standard and this is for the benefit of the whole team doing it this way. Shrugs. Shrugs. I know how to tell. Coin flip. And yeah, so we're going to go with it is because it landed on heads. But yeah, that's what I have a meeting at 1 o'clock for. And so I need to prepare some more information for that. Yeah, moving on. Thanks for listening to my story. Why isn't there a line break there? Okay, so we've written the two gets. The next one would be the add because the order that I normally write my APIs and stuff in is get, post, put, delete. So I usually do the gets and then the adds and then the updates and then the deletes. And sometimes I use upsert. So you can do both an add and an update in the same call, add or an update. However, we can't really do that here because the transaction themselves do not have the transaction view models do not have the ID with them. So we're going to have to come up with a good way to know which transaction item is being referenced. That's going to be hard. I can't think of a good way off the top of my head other than adding the ID to the view model. Okay, so that was add. Let's do update, update. Ha. You know what we could do up here? No, because that's testing multiple things. Never mind. Never mind. Never mind. I'm thinking that we're going to have to do it here though, except that we have the context, so we might not need to. Let's find out. Okay, so I have a record that needs to be added, and then I'm going to update that record to add a posting date, for example. Oh my gosh, I can't type. I can't type. No asserts. This is still a range. So this is populating the database with an record. Actually, you know what? Let's do it like this instead. Since we've already gotten it, yeah, since this is already our approach for pre-populating the database, this is all going to be update related. Okay, so I added a bunch of records, and the record that and let's only do like 10 this time. The record that we are going to update is the first one, and we're going to add a posted date to it. So var, or at least change the posted date. Var, I was going to put to update. We might be able to do that. To update can just be transactions first to be modeled directly. And then we'll make a change to it. So dot posted date equals date time dot UTC now. And actually we need to keep track of that. So expected posted date, expected posted date is going to be date time UTC now. Meow. Stop that. And then that's going to be expected posted date. Then we're going to perform the update. Excuse me. Hello, Duso. It's been a minute. I hope you're doing fantastic on this Wednesday. It's Taco Wednesday. So happy. Mine too. Tell us about yours. What's going on at work that's making it challenging? I am doing well also. However, right, and we have to cast. I'm also finding myself struggling to understand the team dynamic. It's not necessarily the team dynamic that I'm having trouble with. It's the way that work is delegated and the actual work steps. So I have a completely different way of processing information and organizing information than my project manager. And I am the type of person that will indicate that I am thinking along a different line and don't quite understand the direction that they're going. And here are some of my concerns about going the direction that they are recommending, or not even recommending, but I'm trying to find a good word that's not negative sounding, but dictating. They're allowed to dictate work. They're allowed to say this is the direction we're going, and I will follow it, but not blindly. So I've raised my concerns, and we are going the direction that we're going. And that's it. So I'm trying to, instead of hinder the progress to that, just go with it, contribute to that end result that he has in mind that I'm pretty sure is the same end result that I have in mind. It's just a weird path to me. So Dusso is explaining a junior in a pseudo management role over contractors. You are one? You're learning Angular, dealing with a broken version control system and a code base that isn't using Angular best practices. Let's see what your question is. I can see where that may be a challenge, where there may be a disconnect with direction the PM is wanting to go and what may be technically capable or technically feasible. So that's the cool thing. The project manager is quite technical. He knows his stuff, and I love that. But which means that all of the things that he is recommending are technically feasible, and we have the capabilities to do it. But we're also almost starting from scratch, as opposed to reusing a lot of the existing work. Live coding is here. Live coding said working version control is overrated. Who needs it? Oh, I need it. Definitely we do, as we're attempting to use a single code base for 3 projects, says do so. So ours is also confusing me. Our project manager wants us to work out of the master branch, which is still called master, by the way. And yeah, let me just give a rundown of this, because I'm willing to hear any kind of pushback that you might have, or any kind of agreement with me if you have the same agreement. But we have 2 repos, one that's shared packages, and the majority of the items in shared packages get compiled to NuGet, or not compiled, but you know what I mean. They get turned into NuGet packages that's available in our feed. Then we have the main application repo, and there's like, I don't know, 30 or 40 projects in that other repo in the packages. Then we have the main application project, but the main application points directly to some of the projects in the other repo, as opposed to importing, referencing them as NuGet packages. And so in order for you to do work in a branch, then the current version of the packages project must be consistent for the branch that you're working in, and must also be updated when your current branch is updated. And then you have to merge both that second repo and the branch that you're working in. And I don't know, it's like, why aren't all of these shared packages turned into NuGet packages and referenced in your feature branch? And then when you're ready to merge to master, you pull master, into your branch, merge master into your branch, do whatever package updates you need to do, fix whatever that is, then you can merge back into master. That's the kind of thing that I'm like, it doesn't make sense for us to work in master. It's simply cheating and they got away with it. Yeah. So I don't get, and the reason that I really don't understand it is there are so many packages that are already our projects. We own the code, we compile the projects, and reference them as NuGet packages from our local feed. Exactly. Yeah, his main argument was we've been having trouble with regression. And like right now they just finished the very last 1.x release. And so with the inclusion of my UI into the project, it's now a 2.x. And so they want the ability to go back to the 1.x version if the 2.x fails. And it's like, nothing I have done is going to affect the rest of the application. It still exists. Hello, Zen Sports. Welcome, and also welcome to the Daily Code Fun. Do you do Code React? So I'm trying to decipher. Are you asking if I code using React, or do I do something like code reviews? Do I look at code that you have? Oh, okay. So no, I have not used React. This is Blazor. Have you heard of Blazor before? Live Coding was saying that they're cheating, and I agree. Before that, do so. I keep wanting to say Dugasoft. I'm so used to saying that. Do so said, that's cool that they have technical knowledge makes life easier. Kind of. They have like everything that it felt like to me was that the project manager is more comfortable with architecting things in an Angular way, and we're doing Blazor. So, since Zen Sports hasn't heard of Blazor, let's just talk about that really quick. Blazor is Microsoft's answer to doing spas. So a spa is a single page application, and if you know React, then you know spas. And what Blazor allows us to do as developers, as .NET developers, or people that just want to learn development using .NET, is leverage our C# skills to write all of our UI interactability, which is probably not a real word, using C#. So for example, where are my pages? My pages are just here in the root. I normally have a pages folder, but that's okay. So for example, this is just regular HTML. And if you're used to React, you're used to React components. So this would be a component, and this is just HTML. And in place of where we would use either C# or server rendered values to print something out, we're just putting C# directly onto here, and it's rendering at runtime. And if you're running in Blazor WebAssembly, then it's rendering at runtime on the client. This probably isn't a good page because there's not much there. So for our data entry page, maybe we can show what this page looks like. Yeah, we may as well run it. See, you there. So this will be using Blazor WebAssembly, and I really want to read Live Coding's comments on this, on my situation, because I don't know if I'm just, being a pain. I don't want to be a pain. I want to be a valued team member that helps the project complete in a timely manner, and not just be argumentative in any way. Okay, so the app ran. And this is the payment data entry page. So this is just a regular HTML input field But you'll notice that as I change the tab, we are getting routing, we're getting the content changing. But if you look at the page itself, we aren't refreshing the page at all. You're not seeing this flash in any way to show we navigated away from the page we were on and to the next page. That's normal SPA flow concept. So point is, though, that now that we're on this page here, or actually, what I wanted to focus on is when I'm clicking on these different tabs or these different buttons, it's putting different content into this section between this transaction history footer and the buttons across the top. And the way that it's doing that is I have a C# method that's listening for a click on this HTML element. This regular old button is what it is. And so when you click that button, it goes to C# code as opposed to JavaScript. And it says, we clicked on a tab that is called whatever the tab is called. So navigate to the page, which the only thing it does is it puts the content inside of here, changes out the content to match what that new page should look like. Navigate to that page and put that content inside of here. How does it know that content is what belongs in there? And that was this switch here, which again is C#, that says based on the entry type that we're passing in through the URL, find out whether we should be showing the deposit entry component, the transfer entry component, or the payment entry component. Yeah, and I definitely saw the message. I'll read it, I promise. I just wanted to explain that real quick. So that's how Blazor works, or that's not how Blazor works. That is the concepts that Blazor uses, where you can use C# code to control your UI without needing to rely on JavaScript. Or write JavaScript, I guess, because we're still relying a bit on JavaScript. In Blazor wasn't, at least. Okay, so let me read live coding stuff first. He was saying architecture on a team is never 100% enforced, and it's hard to revert other people's stuff without causing an argument. True. And then it seems like every project I've worked on has attempted this kind of architecture of reusable base DLLs, and they are always a pain during development, and they're rarely reused. Really interesting. So there is no value in it in reality. I want to know more. And then live coding says, I recommend merging the two repos into one repo somehow. I don't think that I'll be affecting the repos. I'm just a lowly UI developer. Embrace the cheating as policy. Maybe the original architect who decided to split the two repos is gone now. Maybe everyone's on board. In other words, cheating isn't cheating if it's all one repo. It's best practices now. Interesting. Oh my gosh, that's hard for me to accept. But I can go with it. Also, I can't imagine a dev referencing a ... and that's exactly what's happening in another repo, and it's successfully building in CI. That's exactly what's happening. That's the pain that they had with this most recent release. What they ended up doing was having one of the developers pretty much do the build on their machine and then push the file to CI, the generated file. Again, cheating. This is one of those things that CI guards against. The thing, of course, being cheating teammates. Cool. So I'm going to read ZenSport's comment. I'm trying to figure out what backend I need to use to make a login on my page so when someone logs in with Google or something, their profile picture will show on the top bar of the page. So if a user is logging in with Google, then that means that your application has an API token thing, an OAuth way of authenticating with Google. With that, and I don't know if this is true about Google, but at least with Microsoft, You should also, with Microsoft Azure AD, you would also have access to a thing called Microsoft Graph. So there's probably also some kind of way to do this, get the user's profile information, such as their picture, based off of their logged in user, based off of the token that you get back from Google saying the user has authorized you to look at their stuff. So when you're thinking of the backend itself, this is two separate issues, right? You have the backend login functionality, and it doesn't even have to be backend, especially if you're using Google. You could do authflow that allows your client to authenticate to Google and get that token back. And then access APIs from Google to get the rest of the information. So then the second is your UI that displays user profile information from what you get back from Google. Did that make sense? Um, OAuth. That's Twilio. So I would assume that you follow these docs to authenticate the user. You'll get the token back from the Google API, and then you'll be able to request user information using that token, and then they'll be able to interact with your application because they will be authenticated. And then you could also find stuff like other things related to your app, like policies that you might put in your application that would allow and restrict the user from being able to access things. So the authorization part. Yeah, this is the typical auth flow. So if you don't have this, I would strongly recommend reading through this, because this is a really typical scenario where you have some client application that doesn't really need a server backing it. You can call various APIs however you want. For example, in my application, this Blazor WebAssembly client, I don't have to pair it with with my API server, my hosted API server. It's easy to, so I went ahead and did that, but this could just as easily be in a completely separate project. It could be owned by someone else entirely, as long as my client knows how to get access to it. So definitely feel free to ask any follow-up questions on that. I'm going to continue on with finishing out these testices. I think. Cool. Cool. Yep. All of this should be what I'm looking for. There is no idea. I keep wanting to put my viewModel.id equals my foundRecord.id, but I'm turning that into the viewModel. I'm turning that into the viewModel, right? I'm not turning that into the viewModel. That's okay. The only thing that I care about here is Aha, let me do it like this. Let me do it like that. Oh, I can't. Um, okay, so here's what I want to assert. I want to assert that the toUpdate.id is equal to my updated deposit .id. So my expected and my actual are equal. And like, would we need to check that none of the other values were changed? I don't think so. I think the only thing that I'm caring about here is assert equal um, expected post date. Date. Wait, dot date. Huh? Expected post date equals posted date. Excuse me. You should have. Oh, posting date. I called it posting date. I don't remember calling it posting date. Deposit entry view model. There you go. All right, so nothing should break here. It should only fail at the not implemented exception. Still. Danny's here. So Danny, I'm almost always lurking on your stream when you stream. I'm super duper quiet though, but I'm there. Promise. If you guys haven't seen Danny's streams, definitely check them out. Some retro gaming. What were you doing last? What were you last up to? Oh yeah, and also, he was here super early. One of the first people that was here. Definitely don't want to miss him, but Big Gamey. Another fantastic streamer. My shout outs will get better, I promise. I'm getting there. My bot is learning, it's getting bigger, it's getting stronger, but that noise right there would be my work email that's telling me I don't have time for anything else. You're cramming for Ludum Dare. I've heard of Ludum Dare. I don't exactly know what it is. And that was not an email I needed to respond to. Great. I love the statement that you have a cardboard cutout addiction. It's a 48-hour game jam. Yeah, so there's this really cool metaverse design jam that's going to be going on that I want to take part in. But I'm completely new and I haven't done a single jam of any kind. And yeah. But I hope you have a lot of fun. You started with 4 hour before submission. Wait, as in it's already started or it already happened? Ludum Dare. Because I see 4 hour. Yeah, that's what I was watching. That's what I was watching. Or that's what was on my screen. There was only 4 hours left on the gym. Okay, so what you're saying is this 4 hour stream here, that again I was lurking in, this 4 hour stream here was you doing the entire 48 hours of Loot and Jam. Oh my goodness. How do you think you did? Submitted with 10 minutes left, so it wasn't even the whole 4 hours. Oh yeah. Yep. I definitely saw this part. And this guy kills you and you collect all of the gems. Oh, wow. Oh no. It looked like it froze. No. Fun times though. Oh my goodness. Let's see this. Ah, look at them. So did you make multiple sprites for enemies? Multiple enemy types? So quiet. I do love the sound of keyboard clacking though. You had pre-made assets. It kind of feels like having a component library and then putting together a website. Ooh. So then did you start trying to use the friction that you get from the side of an object as a mechanic? Was that by design or was that, hey, this would be cool? I like it though. It looks really good. Gravity has changed. Oh. Oof. Isn't it so nice how like you don't have to put something super complicated together, it just feels good and is fun. I mean, I know that this took work. I'm not trying to discredit the work that you put into this, but I do love the simplistic mechanic and just enjoy yourself. Collect things, especially collecting all the shinies. The theme was every 10 seconds. So every 10 seconds, the gravity would change or the controls would change. Oh, man. Oh, my goodness. Anyway, awesome stuff. Did that in 4 hours. That's really cool. I do appreciate you being here, but I mean, I stalled long enough not doing tests that I've reached. No. I wanted it. I wanted the distraction. I've only been writing tests, uh, and we'll implement those. I plan on, provided nothing crazy happens between now and tomorrow. Good grief. I forgot that I had another meeting that was randomly scheduled for tomorrow at 11:30. I'm going to see if I can get out of that meeting, and then I plan on having a normal stream tomorrow. Hello, Flugsoft. I can show you really quick if you type bang project. I mean, I'll type it, but my hand is busy pushing Alt Tab. Did I actually stop the app? But we're working on a financial management application. No, not bang project, just bang. I mean, it's what you typed. I call the exclamation point a bang. So, bang project. You weren't wrong. You weren't wrong. It's a financial management tracking application that is running somewhere. We're going to be using, so right now I have an Access database that I do all of my financial tracking in. You could use apps like Mint and stuff like that, but for me, I like to data entry them myself and know what I spent in sales tax and delivery fees and stuff like that. And so we're developing this application from scratch as a Blazor. Where's the dashboard? As a Blazor full stack web dev, solo dev project with concepts of like solo agile as well as what it would be like if you were on a team. So I wanted to do the entire dev process or the entire process from design through dev and then maybe through deploy. So we created the requirements that we wanted this project to do. We sketched out some ideas, some brainstorming, some blueprinting, some design. So UI design is an area that I am not strong in, so I wanted to increase my skills in that. So I was just practicing that with this application, as well as TDD. And I didn't want to do TDD for the entire application because I'm still new to TDD. So instead, I'm doing TDD only on the back-end processes. And this right now, we have written 4 tests for some service processes. We made sure that one of them worked. Otherwise, I would be going in the wrong direction. So I got a ton of help with understanding mocking because we have a backing database. I got a ton of help with understanding the good setup for it. So I do have all of my videos as VODs, and then I post them to my YouTube channel 24 hours after the stream ends or so. But I've also been swamped with my current job. We're transitioning from the UI just development, the portion that I was working on, to now integrating that UI into the existing application. And there are so many things that they're asking of me. And then on top of that, the company, so I work for a contracting company called Sagetti, a contracting firm called Sagetti. And what they do is they have a whole bunch of consultants, they have a whole bunch of developers and business analysts and architects and all of that. And then they throw us at projects for clients. And these are like big name clients. These aren't just like random Joe Schmo me says, I want this kind of project. Can you guys do that? This is a fully featured, like there are projects ranging from desktop utilities to actual full-on sales applications to pricing engines and quoting engines and ERP stuff. So yeah, that's what my job is. I normally take 2 hours out of the day because I used to stream my entire job when I worked somewhere else. And it was fun and it was cool. I was able to, and we got to do a lot of Blazor development. But then with this new job, I can't stream my client work. So I take 2 hours out of my day every day because I wanted to keep streaming every day to work on a project with the community. And that project is this full stack Blazor web dev with the potential of adding Maui, which is going to be fun. We've done proof of concept, shown that it works. And yeah, we're going to keep doing that. So lately, I've been pulled into multiple efforts with the actual company that I work for to try to win new contracts. as well as needing to keep up with my existing job, or my existing client, the one that I'm currently assigned to. So yeah. But yes, my full-time job is doing Blazor development. It's not web development right now, it's desktop development, but I'm still using Blazor and it is amazing. It is so much fun. But yeah, you kind of came at the end of my stream. I'm trying to end now because I have a meeting in 30 minutes that I have to prepare stuff for, but I will be back. My softwares. No, that's okay. I want to show you. But I will be back again tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Mountain Time, which is an hour and a half ago in 24 hours. So I'll post this video to YouTube, and then you can definitely check out the YouTube channel if you feel like it. It's unedited. It's kind of annoying. Yeah, and anytime you feel like dropping by, there's no requirement, no expectation. If you're here, I would love to see you. If not, I hope you're having fun with whatever else you're doing. We also have a Discord server. So if you are a developer or just anyone in technology and you have questions about what you're working on, or you want to provide answers to other people that have questions, it's like a more friendly Stack Overflow at times. Yeah, so if you feel like it. Other than that, I'm going to be back again tomorrow, I hope. Most likely 10:30. We'll plan on it. No matter how long it's going to be, I'll be here tomorrow, 10:30. Until then, I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day. And yeah, we're gonna head out to our friend, another person that is currently working with modernizing applications, which is the work that I used. Well, I guess that's still the work that I'm doing. But Thindle is currently streaming, so we're gonna start a raid there. You don't have to stay for the raid, but if you do, you'll enjoy Thindle. He's he's a character. And yeah, that's going to be it for me for now. See you next time. Ciao. Tschüss. Bye.